Spring football practice is upon us. Joining us, the head coach of the Cavalier football team, Dane Damron. Coach, thanks for taking some time out to join us and talk a little football.
Always glad to talk to you, Double D. Excited about this time of the year.
Well, Coach, we'll start. This is the first time we've done one of these Zoom interviews from your new office, I think, in McCrary. I can't think of a better way to start than there. The improvements with the football staff and office space over there, and kind of elaborate on that, some things that you and your staff have and the student athletes have now as well.
Yeah, I think it's been a big addition. Being over at Greer yesterday for the Coach Ramsire celebration, it was funny to look up there at that old window in our office at Greer just to see how far we've come, just from an office standpoint and facility standpoint since I've been here. But now that we're in McCrary, I would put our football office and meeting complex up against anybody in our league. It's by no means a new building, but it's amazing what a little vision, a lot of sweat, and some graphics can do. I think Jenna and her marketing team did a great job with their vision for what they wanted to get done in the entryway on the first floor. And then my coaches and myself, what we've come up with here on to complete the first floor and the second and third floor. We got an academic center, we got a barber shop, we got a place for people to take a nap, got a players lounge. So it's been a really good addition. It's a lot better coming to work every day knowing that we've got somewhere like this.
Well, secondly, you mentioned your coaches a little bit. Let's go to that. There's some changes on the staff. Hit on that a little bit and some new additions that you have to your coaching staff here as we get set for spring ball.
Yeah, on the defensive side of the ball, Coach Brandon Merchant left, and we replaced him with Byron Porter, who's going to coach our secondary. Very excited about Byron. Byron's kind of a quiet guy, but I think that'll work well with the kids that he's coaching. He's a retired state policeman or city policeman in New Orleans, so I think that's going to be a really good addition for us. He's got a little bit different view on things, and from what he's seen in his line of work, he coached once he, when he retired, he got into coaching. So he's been a college coach for 4 or 5 years. So I've got somebody, Coach Compton's my age again. That's good to not always be hiring 25 and 26-year-olds. But I'm excited about that. And then a young guy, Joshua Oliver, has come to us from Arkansas Tech. I believe he's coached at East Tennessee as a student or a grad assistant and was an Austin Peay. And so it's good to have him. And Ronald Johnson is a guy that is going to be here to help Coach Compton coach the offensive line. So we're still looking to bring in a couple more interns if we can, but we're excited with our staff. And we're excited about the direction of our football program. From getting into the SAC in 2019 to where we are now, I think we're taking great steps. And we've always been playing catch up, but hopefully we're closing that gap.
Well, let's talk football a little bit. You had some big wins last year, most notably over Lenore Ryan at home. Looking for some consistency week in and week out with your team. Talk about the football team a little bit and some goals and objectives that you have here for spring practice.
Well, we first of all, spring ball, we just want to get out healthy. We know who we think a lot of our guys are going to be. We've got to find about 6, if there's about 6 or 10 guys that are ready to take the next step to either get into the starting lineup or, to be in the 2 deep. We've just got to continue to develop depth. This is the first time going into a football season since I've been here where we don't have a true freshman. Looks like we had a little ghost popping up over there. I don't know what happened right there, but looks like it'll be the first time we've not had a true freshman penciled in to be in the starting lineup on the offensive line or even in the 2 deep. And so, that's good. We are developing some depth. And so that's what we're going to continue to try to do during spring ball. Lyndon's got to take the next step. I think Lyndon had a good year. I think his good was really good and his bad was not real good. And so his consistency has got to get better. We've got to find out who our backup is going to be or to see if one of them is going to push him to try to take the job. Return a lot of good wide receivers. We lost some, but we return a lot of good wide receivers, and I'm very excited with what we got coming back on the at running back. So I think offensively, we've got to find a tight end, which is going to be we've moved an offensive lineman there. Jadarian Warren Binion, we got to see what he can do at tight end. And we're excited about Brady Dalton, who was a true freshman last year that redshirted. So we're excited to see what he can do defensively. Got to develop some depth on the defensive line and the linebackers. I like what we've got coming back in the secondary. So I think the secondary is developed depth, but linebackers, we got to find some guys that can play there. So that's where we're at there, Daryl. I think that our good is good enough to beat anybody in this league, which was what we saw this past year. With the game we had against Lenore Ryan. We seized a great opportunity right there. If we played them at the end of the year, does that probably happen? Probably not. But when we had a chance to do that, we did it. And so that was a great win for us. And beating Carson Newman was a great win for us. But our bad right now is not good enough to win games in this league. So we've got to eliminate the bad part and get to where, like you said, we're a little bit more consistent. I like where we're at from 2019 to where we are now in this league. And so we just got to continue to get better players.
You talked about some of the players that you have back, and I think continuity, it builds trust, not only among the players, but the coaching staff as well. Both your coordinators are back. Speak on that a little bit with Coach White and Coach Lewis, and maybe some continuity there and trust that they've built with these players and continued growth.
I think Coach White did a really good job last year just coming in, he didn't get the coordinator's job until about June. And so I thought he did a really good job. He's loud and, he's very demanding from the kids. And I think that, some of the kids had a hard time adjusting to his coaching. But it doesn't matter if you're number 1 or number 3 on the depth chart, you get coached the exact same way from him. So our good was really good. You can't play any better than we played at Catawba. But when teams just wanted to line up and run the ball straight at us, as Barton College did at that last game of the year, we didn't handle that as well as I'd like to. So we'll be able to grow in the scheme just a little bit. Then offensively, we were much better. We led the conference in passing the ball. We got to get better running. We got to. I don't think that you can ever, win totally consistently, unless you can run the ball, especially when there's some positions you're just not as talented as everybody else in the league is. And so that's something that, I think Coach Lewis did a great job taking the next step. You could not have been any worse offensively than we were in 2019. And I think that had a lot to do with inexperience and just we weren't very good. And, the COVID year helped us in that regard. I thought we took a step in 21. So going forward, we returned quite a bit on offense. So we need to take the next step, and we've got to be able to run the ball better.
All right, kind of break down your schedule for us a little bit. You're going to have a couple inter-squad scrimmage type deals on a few Saturdays. Kind of break down your schedule a little bit for us and when this thing will wrap up.
Yeah, we're gonna start spring ball this coming Saturday. We're gonna go in the morning. I'm taking a little bit different approach. We don't always get the best weather up here on the mountain in April. And so we're trying to just push it back as far as we possibly can so we can try to get the best weather. We've done from going on my first year here, we went on in the mornings and that was miserable. And so we're not going to do the typical spring thing where you practice, take a day off, practice, take a day off. I think that kind of drags on the kids. And so we're going to start the 9th, and we're going to go 4 straight days. And then we're actually going to take a couple of days off for Easter and give the coaches and kids the opportunity to go home and be with their family for Easter if they want to. And then we'll pick it back up on April the 18th, and we're going to go 2 straight weeks. We've got to take a day off, so we'll take Thursdays off. But we'll go the 18th through the 30th, basically, however many days that is. That's 13 or 14 straight days with taking the Thursdays off, and we'll scrimmage on the 23rd and the 30th. We want to make sure we get 10 or 11 really good practices in. 15, kind of gets long, especially when you don't have great depth. We've got more depth than we've had, but we don't want to have the Derek Copmans and the Joel Burgesses and the Emon Sullivans in the world have to take a whole lot of reps in spring. We know they can play, but we've got to see if the TJ Lowe's and the Josh Hermans on the offensive line have a chance to be really good players for us. And a linebacker, the Ben Hermans and the Nick Martins of the world that didn't get to play or practice a whole lot, in our scheme last year per se. So we've got to see if those kids can play and develop some depth. And we've got to get Juwan Dent and Tyler O'Reilly a lot of reps at quarterback. to see what they can do. And Tyler Kirkus is a kid at wide receiver that we're really excited about and want to see what he can do at the wide receiver position. So that's the goal of spring. A is to get out healthy, and B is just some kids that we think that we hit on recruiting. Now it's their time to really step up and play, and that's what we're looking forward to doing.
Well, my favorite subject, we'll wrap up with that over your shoulder. You got your Cincinnati Reds stuff up. Opening days next week. We do this every year. Your thoughts on the Reds, and try not to be too negative.
Well, I don't know how you're real positive with them. I get tired as a Reds fan just trusting and obeying. I think that they have not done anything to make fans be real excited about what they're trying to do. As you and I have talked, I think their lineup is going to be okay. And they're starting pitching 1 through 3 will be pretty good. Hunter Green's he's got to have the breakout year that you would expect him to as the #1 draft pick. But I just can't imagine that they're going to get anybody out in their bullpen. I have no idea who their closer is going to be. And so if you don't know who their closer is going to be, you don't know who their setup guy is going to be, you follow a little bit more closely than I do. I'll be able to take it a little bit easier this year, having the opportunity to watch my Bengals in the Super Bowl, which, life as a Cincinnati sports fan is tough. You've never taken the plunge and been a Bengals fan. You root for the Redskins, which the last couple of years have been pretty hard being in, but at least you have, some Super Bowls to hang your hat on. But I don't know what the Reds are trying to get accomplished. I don't know how you let Wade Miley go for nothing. and then just, I don't know, man. It's just frustrating. But, hope springs eternal. Everybody's 0-0 going in. I think it's going to be great for Joey Votto having the chance to play every day but not have to play first base every day. I liked his approach last year. He tried to start hitting home runs, which in today's game, that makes it a lot better. I wish they'd have re-signed Tucker Barnhart, and they could have played Stevenson and Barnhart some at first base and let the other one catch. So it'll be interesting. Hope they do well. I'll be watching them play as much as I can. I'll be calling you for your login. I guarantee you that. And we'll see what happens, brother.
Need a breakout year from a lot of guys. Need the Brewers to maybe not perform up to par, and hope for the best. Coach, thank you for your time, and we'll catch back up over the summer as we get set for fall football. Good luck this spring. Let's keep everybody healthy.
Thanks, Darryl.
Sounds good. Thank you.